My name is Farhad Farahbakhshian. I'm CEO and co-founder at Naked Labs, and we've built the world's first body scanner. And today what I wanted to focus on was how we built a new category product. I think a couple of years ago I read a book called Play Bigger by Al Ramadan, and he talks about when you're creating something that doesn't exist, it helps to be deliberate about every decision. Because you could literally destroy a market single-handedly, and that's not what we wanted to do. So I'll talk about that today. So what are we really building at Naked? We're building a body model platform. So I'm going to say something, and my co-founder really hates it because he thinks it's morbid. We're creating the Internet of Bodies. He won't like me saying that, but we want to connect your body to the internet and have the internet connect your body to different services. And how we want to do that is by digitizing your body. This is kind of like the show on HBO, which I'm blanking on right now, where they have, what's that show on HBO? Westworld. Yes, which I've watched both seasons of, and I can't recall right now. But basically what we want to do is we want to digitize your body and connect you with different services long term. Because everything else is digitized. The way you consume media is digitized through Netflix, the way you order meals, the way you order clothes, the way you use Amazon. Everything is personalized and digitized, but our bodies are still in analog mode. And this is something that if we find a way to have a digital version of you exist, there's so much we can enable. And we're starting that with fitness. If you look at fitness, most of companies and services have been focused on activities, what you're doing to your body, and the personalization side has been about bringing the gym to the home, bringing the convenience into the home. But everything has been focused on what you're doing to your body, not what's been happening to your body. And that's actually the most engaging piece is if I know that I'm actually making progress, there's so much more engagement that I will have as when it comes to meeting any specific goal. And that's what Naked does. We help people understand what's happening in their bodies. And if you guys are interested, check out our website. It actually tells you how it works. I won't spend any time on it today. And check out some of the testimonial videos on real people using the device and meeting some of their goals. So we're building a new category. What does it mean? When we started this company, we thought about, okay, we're building a body scanner that will allow people never to look at the scale again. What is it going to look like? What is it going to be shaped like? What is the app going to be? We had no clue. And one way of figuring it out, we said, okay, well, let's go talk to real people. And this is all the studies and user research that we did. Starting from literally testing at a gym, taking our prototypes into a gym and having people get scanned, all the way to doing in-home betas. We did a lot. We did 2 rounds of ethnographic research sessions with a company called Gravity Tank, which is IDO. Then we did in-office betas. Then we did in-home betas. Then we did a full US tour because our investors thought that we don't want to build a product just for Silicon Valley. So we're like, fine, we'll go to Michigan, we'll go to Portland, we'll go to different parts of the country just so we're capturing a very diverse demographic. I think we did too much, quite honestly. I think that we did so much beta testing so early that we crippled our engineering team. So that's one of the lessons that I learned is if I were to do this again, I would start with doing a lot of testing internally with the employees because they're a lot more forgiving of bugs that are irrelevant. When the cloud, for some reason, stops working, you're like, oh, I get it. Rylan forgot to turn something on last night. Whereas beta users just yell at you until you fix the problem. So if I were to do that again, I would do in-home, in-company beta testing. And the way we started the beta testing, actually, on our very first round of ethnographics research, before we did any form of development, we started with note cards, and we would test out each individual feature. We'd have people come in and rank each of these features that we thought we would have on our app. And we had real people come in, and one of the things that's helped us to do is to find out not only what features they want to see, but who's in our target market. Initially, we thought this product was for someone who's got a 6-pack who wants to get a 12-pack. We were wrong. What we found out was that this was actually for someone that had tried different fitness regimens, tried different diets, but had not seen success in the past. Which is actually good because it was a much bigger market, but it was a paradigm shift for us as far as how we need to design the product. This is actually one of our users. Again, guys, I encourage you to go check these out. They're actually really cool. These people have made tremendous progress on Naked. I'll skip them today. But the reason why people wanted to use Naked, first and foremost, was weight loss. And I actually hate that word because I don't really care about weight loss. I care about fat loss. But at the same time, it is a category where right now we're trying to re-educate users around. Special events are also a big deal. Weddings, competitive races, powerlifting, all the way to some fun stuff like tracking your kids' growth and pregnancy. So we learned a lot about Naked through all the beta testing that we did. I would just say the biggest lesson for me alone was don't send out units too early to your beta testers because it will slow down your engineering development. Now, design considerations. This was actually this was a tough one. On the technical side, we wanted the best looking scans possible. And this has not been done before, which meant our algorithms had to tie with the best optics and hardware possible. It also had to be accurate and consistent. The scan had to take less than 20 seconds because asking someone to get a scan in the morning is not an easy ask. 20 seconds is 20 seconds when you're rushing out the door. And this seems small, but it's actually a big deal for us. It had to work on carpet because we didn't want it to be purely a bathroom product. And I'll actually talk about where the product ended up residing in, but this was an important one. And I don't know how many scales you guys have seen, but they don't really work on carpet, and our device also has a scale. On the design side, it had to be beautiful. It had to take very little space in the home. It had to be something people wanted to show off because our goal, ultimately, is to digitize everybody in the world. So when you have a guest come over, it's very important for us that everyone wants to say, hey, what is that mirror? I want to check it out. I want to get a scan. And it had to fit into the home. And at the same time, be futuristic so that people are curious. So why did we choose a mirror? We actually did not choose a mirror. This is a question that comes up very often. I think you guys talked about that a little bit earlier. We wanted to build on top of an existing behavior, and everyone who wakes up in the morning looks in the mirror, especially as they're going through some type of fitness transformation. So we wanted to build on top of an existing behavior, and if it takes 15 extra seconds to scan your body, that's something most people are willing to pay if they are on some type of fitness regimen. And as far as the lessons we learned from some of the in-home testing that we did, I won't read these to you guys out loud, but one of the key decisions for us is, do we use pure Wi-Fi or NFC, or do we use Bluetooth? We realized quickly, as much as I hate Bluetooth as an engineer, we had to use Bluetooth because we wanted as many people to be able to use the device, agnostic of the phone and agnostic of the operating system. We also realized that people want to scan weird things, especially dogs, and they want to do weird poses. So we had to enable that. And the tough part is, like, okay, who cares? They do weird pose, right? But when you do a weird pose, it's going to change your measurement. When you stand like this to get a normal scan, you're going to have a different measurement than if you stand like this and pose your arm. And we actually have to detect the pose by scan and filter it so you don't get a graph where your arm measurement automatically spikes up and goes back down again. So there's a lot of intelligence built in passively for this kind of user behavior. And the other thing we realized, and this is one of those tough lessons that I think I wouldn't have got this third comment if I hadn't sent the product out too early. Our beta demos were buggy and it sucked. But at the same time, people loved it. They were so forgiving, it surprised us. So if you do want to send it out early and you don't want to listen to me and you want to cripple your engineering team, just know people will still love the product because they are your early adopters. The other thing we did was actually having the device in several locations around the States. This was actually important for us because we realized regardless of where you're at, there's not much space in the home, and houses were really cluttered. And there were a lot of pets. And one of the things we realized is that cats don't like our device. Our device, when you stand on the turntable, it detects the user and it wants to start a scan. Guess what cats like to do? They like to get on our device. We had so many false positives. We're like, what is going on? We're getting 20-pound weights and no one's getting a scan. So we quickly learned how to filter cats and dogs as well, but cats are pretty evil. And this is actually where we started on the design of the product, and this is where we ended up for context. So there was quite an evolution when it comes to design. And as far as what's actually inside the device, I'll go ahead and talk about this briefly. And this is also on our website if you guys want to check it out. There were several times during our 3.5-year journey as far as building this product where I thought, man, why did we pick something so damn challenging? This product consists of 3 sets of depth sensors embedded inside the mirror with a dual-core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabytes of SSD, where every scan takes about 4 gigabytes of raw data, all of which are compressed into a 2 megabyte file that's pushed into the cloud. And to actually get the scans that you see on the app takes a lot of machine learning and computer vision to make them look that smooth with consumer-grade optics. So that was quite challenging for us to do. And on the engineering challenges side, any company that's working with depth sensors, they're very challenging. Calibration is extremely problematic. And doing these in the factory and when they go into the home, doing auto calibration, that was extremely painful for us. That's why there are very few companies with hardware in the world that actually has computer vision embedded into it. And I think we realized was that there was no perfect contract manufacturer. It was really tough for us to find someone who had optics experience, compute experience, and built something large and mechanical. Third one, which every founder before me told me, and I thought I understood, but I didn't understand, which was firmware is going to be rough. I knew that, and it was still really rough. So I'm going to continue to pass that on. By the way, everything I'm saying is just my opinion. It may be completely different for you. You guys may completely crush it on firmware. On the software side, what I realized with computer vision, it required a very tight marriage on the hardware side. It's kind of like garbage in, garbage out. It was very important for us to make sure we gave clean data on the computer vision side to the software. Validation was also extremely challenging. Making sure the device on the computer vision side worked in every single environment, different lighting conditions, different humidity conditions, dogs walking by while someone is getting a scan, different poses, all these conditions we had to test for. It ended up taking way more time than we anticipated. So that's just something I would, anyone who's building a computer vision product, half your team should be validation and half your team should be development. And the last piece on the software side, invest in software quality really, really early. That's what I should have done. And I think it would have made our development quite a bit more streamlined, especially because we had cloud, mobile, firmware, device layer software, and computer vision all running at the same time. That ended up being quite challenging for us. So at the end of the day, we shipped. We shipped on 8/1/18, which was almost a month ago, a little over a month ago. But we shipped 16 months late. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. We had 2 delays to the customers, and they weren't happy with us, I'll tell you that. And they would not take a refund. They wouldn't actually take a refund, but they just wanted to stay mad, which was an interesting problem to have. And one of the things that actually makes us really happy right now, and this makes the team really happy, is that customers like the product. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great and entertaining. And as a quick PSA, I'm happy to confirm we will be serving pizza after this. So you mentioned services.
Yes.
How is that going to work, and what services will you eventually offer?
So on the services side, there's a lot. One of the things we realize in fitness is that people don't want to think. They just want to be told what to do, and they want to get in shape. So one of the services we're enabling on the Naked platform is Naked Transform. And basically, you go and design the body you want. You take your body model. You say, I want to lose 10 pounds of fat, gain 10 pounds of muscle, and we show you what you will look like. Not some generic avatar, but what your body will look like in that composition. And then we connect you to a Naked branded coach that tells you what to do and holds you accountable to meet that goal. That's one of the services that's going to be Naked branded. Now, when it comes to body information, there are a lot of different applications: augmented reality, virtual reality, remote medicine, remote health, and even on the retail side. When you have that information, there's a lot you can do with that information. And our idea is to enable you to use your body information to make your life just a little bit more convenient.
Great. And is there a B2B strategy to this in terms of selling to, I don't know, fitness clubs, or are you going to be all consumer for a long time?
So our DNA is B2C, but at the same time, yes, gyms have reached out to us, and we see gyms as an acquisition tool for direct-to-consumer side, but also we see gyms as a path to grow the platform. What we want to do is create this body model platform, which is agnostic to how much hardware you actually sell. It's about how many users you have on the platform. And gyms do address that quite well.
Great. Do you have questions?
No. You just mentioned retail as a vertical that you could go after. What kind of applications do you see in retail?
What application do I see in retail?
Yeah, what kind of use of your technology do you see in retail vertical?
Yeah, so right now on the retail side, typically when people purchase clothes online, for example, this is why Amazon acquired Body Labs, they purchase 2 or 3 sizes and they return at least 2 of them because they don't know what the fit is going to be. What we enable is we enable you to physically be somewhere without really being there, because they have access to all your dimensions and your body geometry, so that you can see how things fit, or you can even have things that are custom tailored to your body be delivered to your home.
And will you have is there eventually a community aspect to this? I mean, does that make sense of like people supporting one another, or?
So we have that right now with a Facebook insiders group for people who've purchased the Naked. And there's kind of a fun little community, although it's getting a little weird. People are posting full nude scans. But there is a community of purchasers right now. But long term, what we want to do with body information is it's always good to understand where you fit in the general population, so that you understand what works for you. So for your body shape, your body composition, your goals, and your activity level, we can actually categorize you and say, hey, for this body type, this is what works well for you, and connect you to similar bodies. Because generally speaking, similar activities and diets work for similar body types. So yes.
Very good. Well, first of all, I mean, congratulations on shipping. You know, there are so many people that try to ship even 16 months late, having a product with hardware, software, computer vision, and all of this, and actually shipping it is immensely difficult, so congratulations. And thank you so much for coming to tell us your story.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.